To see everybody here. We're now live. I hope everybody is doing well today. We're going to go over a nurse. She's originally from Nevada, and she went into New York City. If many of you might remember, back in March, New York City put a call for nurses all over the country to come in and work there to help them with all the cases because they were just so overwhelmed with the amount of people coming up to the hospital. After listening to this today, ladies and gentlemen, I doubt if many of us will want to be at a hospital ever again. Okay, it is that bad. So let me just give you the setup about what I'm about to show you. Now, I didn't even upload this video. I'm actually going to be showing you the video from my computer. This is not uploaded on YouTube or, at all. This nurse, her name is Nicole Saratek. She came into New York to help them out with the COVID-19 cases while she was in the hospital. Now, this woman was in a hospital in the hood. So all of the patients that came in there were Black and brown. So she was in the hood. So let me just tell you that much. She was saying COVID-19 did not kill these patients. The medical staff were the ones killing the patients. And it makes you wonder, ladies and gentlemen, how much of this is going on countrywide. This can happen in the nation of your enemies, to come up with another crafty way to try to bump us off. And what easier way to do it if your entire resistance is down by being sick, where you're in a situation where you can't fight back because you're just simply too ill. Thank you, Lucky Lloyd, for the super sticker. So this video is a little over 7 minutes long, and I want you all to listen to what she's saying. She is risking a lot because we know what happens to whistleblowers. They'll try to get at her and try to destroy her for bringing this out. I mean, we have seen this many, many times before, even during the crack epidemic, where they took out Gary Webb, if you remember, when he exposed what was really going on during the crack epidemic. Let's be for real here. From the beginning, medical science has always done us wrong. Even to this very day, ladies and gentlemen, even to this very day, they have this thing about we don't feel pain like others do. And they still live by that to this very day. And many, and you know this as well as I do, many people in the Black community do not trust hospitals. They don't trust doctors. Many of them don't trust too many folks in the medical field. And we have every right to feel that way. When you see this video, it's just going to reinforce everything we have been feeling all along. Look, it must have been either January or February. I put a video out on how the medical algorithm was showing bias towards Black patients, where Black patients were not getting the medical attention that they needed. but they were giving plenty of attention to the white patients. I did that video. So it's a wonder why I'm hearing many Black people telling me if they do get COVID-19, they'd rather die at home than be in a hospital. I'm getting that from a lot of our people. They don't even be bothered with going to the hospital. If I gotta go, I'll go peacefully at home. I don't want no doctor, nurses, respiratory therapists. I don't want none of those people around me. I'm hearing that a lot. So with COVID-19, are people still getting the short end when it comes down to treatment? Should not be shocking to anybody. This is how it's been all along. This did not just start. It's always been this way. Look, medicine was furthered from them dissecting and killing us, using our bodies, dead or alive, to dissect, to even build up a medical system in America. So they didn't do this by themselves. They didn't do squat by themselves. And you can tell they're not used to doing anything by themselves, because look at how they're running the whole COVID-19 in the country. They're not resolving nothing. People are dying by the thousands. We got more cases than everybody worldwide, but these folks insisted for years and years and years, they have a high IQ. They have a high IQ. They have a high IQ. Well, your IQ don't look so high to anybody. I don't know anybody on this earth that believes you have a high IQ. Nobody believes it. Okay? In fact, go look at the recent articles on what the world is saying about America. They don't trust America's leadership anymore. After watching all this stuff going on in America, they don't trust America leadership anymore. The only defense America got left at this point in time, well, we'll just take the money. We'll just take money away from you. We'll just take, that's all they got left. That's all they got left. Well, we won't help those countries. We'll just take the money. Well, maybe did it ever dawn on you that maybe they can live without your money? You claim we needed you. We're in our individual houses all over the country taking care of ourselves. Ain't nobody waking up in the morning crying out for you. Okay, so that's another one that has been debunked. And it's even getting to the point where a lot of people are saying, because they're trying to threaten you to go back in these companies to work. And you got, like I said, Mitch McConnell, he's trying to set it up so you can't sue a company if you go and work and you get COVID-19 from your place of employment. And he's trying to set it up where if you pass away, your family can't sue. So if you don't need everybody, why are you setting up things like that? Because you do need other people to participate in order for you to stay in charge of the country. Okay? It don't take a rocket scientist to see that. So we know what high IQs can do. Absolutely nothing. That's what a high IQ can do during a crisis. Absolutely nothing. Okay? Absolutely nothing. So let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this video. This video is, I'm just going to play it from my Mac. And it's not on a YouTube video at all. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. Well, the high IQ has been officially defeated by a virus. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to think about this too. Not one disease has been eradicated. Not one disease has been eradicated. Look up every single disease when they claim, oh, we eradicated this and oh, that's eradicated. Go look up those diseases. Those diseases are still on this earth. Despite the fact that they have all kinds of vaccines, they got vaccines for polio. There's cases of polio on the earth every single year. There's measles on the earth. There is mumps on the earth. There's the flu on the earth. And they got vaccines for all of these things. And nothing has been eradicated. Do you really think people with a track record like that is going to eradicate COVID-19? Hell no. If you didn't eradicate nothing else, you're not going to eradicate this. It don't take a rocket scientist for you to see this. All right, y'all, if you can see my screen, please give me a 1. Look like we got 433 people between my 2 channels. Shalom to everybody that just came in. Shalom, shalom, shalom. And listen, y'all, they want to rush a vaccine through. All right? They want to rush this. Would you go out and take a rushed vaccine? You know, you got to take that vaccine through trial and testing and everything before you even give it to the public. Trump wants a vaccine by the end of the year or the beginning of 2021. Now, if they rush it, usually the average is 2 years. Now, if they rush this thing and have it out within months, who the hell would go and take this vaccine? Who would do that? Seriously, who would do that? Who would do that? I mean, no, who's going to put themselves on the line for some rushed vaccine? Nobody. You ain't giving that mess away to nobody. Okay, you can rush it out all you want. Ain't no damn way on the planet you're going to give that shit to anybody. You know what I say? The people that are backing Trump, let them be your guinea pigs. Give it to them. Give it to them. All right, y'all. Thank you for the ones. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me see if I can adjust the screen so that I can see your comments as this is playing. Great. There we go. That looks good.
But these people aren't dying from COVID. Let me give you several examples here. An anesthesiologist intubated the patients, like, I think it was right, like bronchi and of a patient, and they couldn't get the sats up. And for about 5 hours, like, we were waiting on a chest x-ray to confirm that the placement was wrong. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for that, we told the anesthesiologist that it was placed wrong, because like literally only one side of the chest is like inflating. He dies. Okay. A patient had a heart rate of 40, and the resident started doing chest compressions on him, which is not what you do. you just externally pace them, or you give them some atropine. And then, I run in there to stop him from doing chest compressions on somebody with a pulse. And then he decides to push epi. He throws some pads on him to defibrillate the guy in bradycardia. Okay, he has a heart rate of 40 and a stable, bradycardic rhythm. We just need to give him some atropine and pace him. He defibrillates him and kills him. And I was literally ran out of the patient's room to get the director of nursing who was standing out there. And I'm like, can you stop him? He's going to kill that patient. He's going to kill that patient if he defibrillates him with bradycardia and a heart rate of 40. And the director of nursing just shook his head. And I turned around and he killed the dude. Okay. There was a nurse who placed an NG tube into some guy's lungs and filled his lungs with tube feeding. There was a nurse who confused a long-acting insulin with a short-acting insulin and gave 30 units of a fast-acting insulin and killed the guy. What else? Other stuff have I seen? Yeah. It's just here they're just going to let them rot on the bed. They're medically mismanaging these patients. And I'm not a doctor, guys. I'm not professing to be a doctor by any means. But there's, like I said, basic standards of care that we have to do. When somebody's low on blood, literally on the brink of a critical low blood level, we should replace the blood. But I asked the residents and they're like, does he have internal bleeding? And I said, no. And they're like, well, we're not replacing the blood. We have a nurse who fell asleep at the nurse's station while we were all in rooms, and her norepinephrine ran out. The guy had blood pressure and didn't perfuse his brain, and I'm pretty sure he's brain dead. That same nurse is now running a CRRT machine, a dialysis-like machine that she's never done before. She said she'll figure it out because nobody is listening. They don't care what is happening to these people. They don't. I'm literally coming here every day and watching them kill them because it's going in the twilight zone. Everyone here is okay with this. Look, the only way I can kind of put this into context for everybody is, and this is going to be kind of an extreme example, this is really the only thing I can come up with, is if we were in Nazi Germany and they were taking the Jews to go put them in a gas chamber, I'm the one there saying, hey, this is not good, this is bad, this is wrong, we should not be doing this. And then everyone tells me, hang in there, you're doing a great job, you can't save everybody, you're amazing, you're a great nurse. Guys, I know I'm a good nurse. I know I go in there and I give it 500% every day. I know I'm not being negligent. Okay, I know that. What I need is someone to help me save these people from being killed. Okay, from gross negligence and complete medical mismanagement. And no one is listening to me. Solution for me? Because I'm kind of out of ideas. I try and talk with some of the other nurses here. They're like, well, you can't save everybody. And they all know what's happening. They all agree with me. And they all just shake their heads. And I'm like, am I the only one who is not a sociopath? To think that this is okay? I mean, guys, they literally don't even know when they're dead. How many times have I told you they've assigned me a dead person? How long have they been dead? Nobody knows. And they assigned him to me. And he was already in a body bag. Guys, they're not dying of COVID, okay? Yeah, people are gonna die of COVID. Yeah, some people legit will end up with multi-organ failures and will just throw the clots and kill them, and die. People, I know this. I'm not some new grad, okay? That's gonna save everybody in the world, okay? I'm literally telling you that they're murdering these people, and nobody will listen to me. I watched an anesthesiologist place an ET tube and rush through their esophagus and then got choked to death with his own blood. COVID didn't place that ET tube incorrectly. Nobody cares because they're all minorities who are in the hood. You know, and that's just not okay. That's just weird, guys. They're all okay with it. Like, I tell you, we get off the bus and we go into the twilight zone here. Like, how do you not know when your patient is dead? For real. I mean, back at the other unit, it was just crazy and bodies were just dropping. Yeah, I can understand that. But guys, you don't tell the staff. Like, yeah, we have hundreds of extra nurses that are still here that are not part of hospital staff managing these patients, but we're on top of it now. We're on top of it now. There's no reason to not know when your patient's dead. All right, guys, I'm going to the unit. Let's see how they kill them there, okay? Stay safe. Stay out of NYC for your healthcare.
All right, y'all. That's it. So you heard what she said. She's in the hood. The patients are all minority. And she is saying COVID is not killing these people. The staff is killing the people. So this hospital just mainly have Black and brown patients. Okay. And that's who she's caring for. You heard she said they assigned her to dead people. The patient was already dead. And when she got her assignment of which patients to take care of, they assigned her a couple of times to people that were already dead. So that just go to show you they're not even checking on these patients. If you are constantly getting a dead patient assigned to you, and she's right, then how long has this person actually been dead? That tells me these nurses are not doing rounds and going in each patient rooms like they're supposed to every day to get a status on each patient. Those nurses are supposed to do rounds every single day in each and every one of those patient rooms. So if you don't know these people are dead and you're assigning them to nurses, damn, when was the last time you walked in that person's room? You have to think about that. Don't worry about the trolls. These are YouTube employees or they're contractors that work for YouTube. You know, that's why they can come at the precise time of my live streams because they're watching. You know, instead of earning their paycheck, this is what they're doing. They're literally robbing the company by coming out here playing all day instead of doing real work. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this nurse said she rode a bus in. So apparently there were a bunch of nurses that came in there from other states. And what they would do is put them on buses and they would take them to, I guess, the different area hospitals that they were assigned to work in. And that's what she was doing there. All I can say is, ladies and gentlemen, these nurses are functioning like that because, and these respiratory therapists, they haven't been properly trained. And when you see this kind of stuff, go back and think about the schooling they got. If anything, they need to give a refund to every doctor and nurse in this country that went to school in America, because America ripped them off and didn't teach these people shit. They didn't teach these people nothing. They learned nothing about pandemics. And those of you that did super chats and super stickers when we had the video playing, thank you very much. You know, it's just kind of hard to respond. Thank you, Night to Shady, for the super sticker. And ladies and gentlemen, schooling in the medical field in America is panning out to be inadequate. When you see your people functioning like this in a hospital, okay, this is how your people are going to work, and this is how they're doing patients. Then all of the schooling these people got in the medical field is inadequate. You know what? She was in New York, but y'all, you can best believe this is happening all over the country. They're not telling you that Black people are dying more than everybody else for no reason. It is because when we get to the hospital, we're getting inadequate care. Thank you, Miss Witch, for the super chat. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for coming. Schooling in America is horrifying. And you can see it in how these folks function. Thank you, Lorraine Sims, for the super sticker. You know, this is a disgrace. You put these people through all kinds of school. When they finish school, they're in debt up to their ass. And when they get in the real world, this is the best they can do when they function in a hospital setting. That's pretty damn sad. I'm not surprised, but it's still terrible to hear it. You know, I remember, you guys, I remember when I was probably back in junior high school. That was the first time in my life I had encountered Black teens and Black women that were sterilized against their will. What they would do is you would go in the hospital for a certain condition, you know, or a woman may have needed surgery on her knee, or you may have needed surgery, you know, some type of minor surgery. You would wake up and they would do a complete hysterectomy on you. And that happened a lot. I met so many teens and women that could not have children because they went into the hospital for one thing, and by the time they left the hospital, they were sterilized against their will. And this stuff still happens. Israel did it to the Somalians that were there. It still happens. They'll still try to do these sterilizations on our people against our will. So I never knew there was so many until I reached my teen years. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Why are so many of our women sterile? And that's when I first started hearing about, you know, from multiple Black women that could not have children. So when I hear what's going on with COVID-19, you're going in there to get treated for it, and they're doing all this other shit on you and ultimately kill you. Right now, a hospital is not the place to be, but you know, if you can't get care anywhere else, okay. But if there's a way for me, and I'm talking about myself, if there's a way for me not to have to deal with a hospital right now, I won't. I absolutely won't. You know, I'm doing a lot of the things that many of you are doing. You know, I'm taking my supplements and I have the immunity building teas and I'm doing those type of things. Thank you, Curly, for the super chat. You do a hell of a job with these videos. Thank you very much, Curly. Yes. Angel, be divine. Yes. They have always done these things to us. And see, and it's just more proof when we say that Black people get inadequate health care. You know, I like what Phil from the African Diaspora channel says. He calls it medical apartheid on our community. And that's probably the best way to sum it up. It really is. And when you listen to this nurse talking about all these inappropriate things they're doing to Black patients and it's killing them and they're not dying from COVID at all, that just, it blows your mind. But I bet every dime in my wallet, these people that's working on the medical staff, when they do the death certificate, because those death certificates are done right there at the hospital if you die there. I bet every dime in my wallet they're putting down COVID-19 and not the fact that they were really the cause of that person dying. Okay? You can best believe they're not putting a real reason why those people died. They're all throwing COVID-19 on everything to cover up what they're really doing to these patients. So when I saw that last night, I actually watched that last night and it just blew me away. And I said, you know what? I have to do this one on a live stream. This one was live stream worthy. But I'm glad she spoke up because it's not common to see people like her speak up. And we know what happens to whistleblowers in America. You blow the whistle on any evil thing that's being done, they want to do things to you. So in this case, I hope this woman is safe. See, New York was offering these nurses $100 an hour if they would come in from other states and give them a hand with these patients. And many of them did rise to the occasion from other states, and they went in there to help. I have yet. Thank you, Black Magic, for that. Medical Apartheid, the book is a good read. I'm gonna have to check that out. Thank you for posting that. I really do have to check that out. Well, you know, one thing about us, we have always been under attack. We have always been the target. And as you can see, even during a pandemic, we are still a target. It never changes, even when there's a pandemic. Thank you, RLI. She showed her face and hope there's no retaliation. Yeah, I hope there isn't on her behalf. I agree with that. You know, America is one wicked place. Well, the thing is, the way they prepared these folks for medical school, it is just not adequate for what they're dealing with today. And that's another reason why so many lives are lost. They didn't learn anything about pandemics. Any medical person, doctor or nurse will tell you that. They never learned a thing in schooling in America about pandemics. They never had to fight a pandemic. And if you look at the entire country in all 50 states, there's not one single hospital or unit that is specialized in pandemics. Not one in the entire land. and that's a huge problem. So now you have this thing festering in the country. You got over 1 million people with it, and nobody has any idea on how to treat this. They are treating people based on other conditions that folks have had and gone to the hospital, but not specifically for COVID-19, because there is no treatment for it. So based on, let's say, the flu, they're going to give you certain medications for the congestion. And based on pain, they may give you some opioids to ease your body aches and pains. So they're basing everything they're giving you on other medical conditions and hoping that it will do something to help you through COVID-19. But in actuality, ladies and gentlemen, they really literally have nothing to give you up at the hospital. I was even listening to one doctor. He said they do everything they can and they pray. And he's right. That's about all they can do for you. That's all they can do. But in my opinion, after seeing this, no one should graduate from medical school until they dig their feet in the dirt to deal with some type of epidemic or pandemic. If they don't have that actual training, they should not be allowed to graduate. Because now you see how critical that would have been had they had that kind of training. And you just got a country full of doctors and nurses with zero experience in dealing with a pandemic. And you know how dangerous that is? 70,000 deaths should tell you how dangerous that is. And I don't blame the doctors and nurses. I don't blame them. But I do blame the people for charging them astronomical dollars to go to school here and teach them nothing that they really needed to learn. It's their fault. So it's a shame, but this is where we are. This is where we are in the country. And it's scary. It's scary. Yeah, they're now, as soon as I did see that, thank you for posting that. As soon as Dr. Pirate Brain, as soon as they, in fact, they're grabbing them before they graduate. They're now going up to the colleges or contacting the colleges to grab the students even before they're graduating from medical school and from nursing school, because they're so desperate for people. A lot of times these people haven't even graduated and they're grabbing them up and throwing them in the hospitals. I did read about that too. So I wasn't surprised when she said a resident, which means, that's a person, that's a doctor with no experience, probably just finished medical school. And she said he was trying to resuscitate a patient that was already still had a heartbeat. You don't resuscitate a patient with a heartbeat, but she said it was a resident. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of those people they grabbed out of medical school before they graduated. But that is what they're doing around the country. Yes, you know what, Daniel, Justin, I thought about the Tuskegee experiment too. So just know, many of these hospitals are not in the business right now to save people. But right now you can go in there with something entirely different and they'll just slap on the death certificate it was COVID-19 that took you out, and it might not have been that at all. Oh yeah, Lioness of Judah, you're right. I was reading, and I believe I did a video on this back in 2019, that a lot of these doctors that come out of India and Pakistan, they get fake doctor's license and credentials. They buy them, and then they come over here to America and become doctors, and it doesn't get questioned or anything. But they have never gone to medical school or anything, and they just buy credentials, a degree, the whole thing, the whole license, everything. And then what they do is they don't practice there in India. They come over here to America, and they bring those fake credentials, and they practice medicine here, making all kinds of money. And it's all a fraud. They have no schooling at all. And they have gotten away with that, from what I understand, for many, many years, and still getting away with it. Oh, yeah, I saw your video, Katie. Katie, I did a video on mass misdiagnosis, Lisa. Yeah, and I watched that video. It was a good video. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can actually find the articles out here. It's been going on for a long, long time. So a lot of these doctors that you see that are from India and Pakistan, their credentials may not even be legitimate. They said it's easy to buy that stuff over there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I guess they don't do an adequate enough job to check on these things, or, I don't know how messed up their system is over there. I couldn't even tell you. But yeah, that is something that's been going on for a long, long time, ladies and gentlemen, with these doctors with their fake credentials. Yeah, and many of them will come over here, make a lot of money, and people don't even know they're not even legit. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. Americans buy. Oh yeah, Americans like to buy fake degrees, and and because of who and what they are, they don't check behind them. They won't check to see whether those degrees are real or not, because if you got privilege in the land, nobody's going to check anything. That's how it is. Yeah, actually, there are articles that are written on the fake credentials that many of these East Indian and Pakistani, and even some of these Arab doctors have. They're not even legitimate doctors. Yeah, yeah, you're right, Loretta. Even a pharmacist that come over here from foreign countries are not licensed pharmacists. A fact. You're right. And again, if it's anybody other than us, they're not going to check into this thing. But I bet you if it was us from the hood doing this stuff, oh, they'd be all on it, throwing you in jail, putting the case on TV, making a big deal out of it. But see, when the face is not ours, then, it's all done in silence. Yeah. Yeah. If you see a lot of foreigners in a certain field, you can best believe a lot of fraud is going on. That should always raise a red flag. If you see a lot of them in certain professions and certain fields, you can best believe a lot of their credentials are fake. And it's easy to fake and get by in America. It's easy to do. You know, but see, look at who's caught up in the college scandals. Okay. That should tell you who's doing all the faking up in America. They start young. Yeah, that's what I'm saying to y'all. Whenever you see a bunch of them, the foreigners come here and you see tons of them in certain professions, there's a lot of fakery going on. But see, another main reason why America won't check behind these people, ladies and gentlemen, it's money. See, as long as you got enough money, you can do anything you want in America and get away with it. Like I said, if Satan himself wanted to come and start a Satan town in America, as long as he got enough G's in his wallet, they'll let him do it. They'll let him do it. That's why people say America's a whore. It is a whore. You can get away with anything as long as you give the whore some money. So I just wanted to take some time and show you the video. Please leave your comment, share the video, and I'm going to pray that not many of us end up in those hospitals, boy. It's a mess. It is literally a mess. And these folks are talking about a second wave. Look at how badly they're doing through the damn first phase of it. Second phase, man, I'd be terrified to go to the hospital. First or second phase, it wouldn't matter to me. But these folks are talking about a second phase, and look at how bad they're stumbling through the first phase. So what I expect, we led the world in the first phase, and we'll probably lead the world in the most cases and deaths in the second wave. That's what we got to look forward to. Ladies and gentlemen, like I tell you all the time, I pray for each and every one of my brothers and sisters in all four corners of the world. May the Most High keep his hedge of protection around each and every one of you and your families. Stay safe, family. And may he fulfill all of the needs that you may have during this time of judgment. Amen. Peace, family.